eMthwakazi 1893 Human Rights Restoration Movement balomhlangano omkhulu wokukhuluma ngombhuqazwe weGukurahunde lapho kwabulawa khona inkulungwane zabasekeli bebandla lezaphu ezigabeni zemathebeleleni leMidlands ngeminyaka yabo 1980. Intatheli zindaba iStudio 7 uEzra Chisa Sibanda usethulela lolu ngokugcweleyo eseBhilithane.
Umhlangano lo ubizwa kuthiwa yiMathebeleleni Gukurahunde Genocide Conference wenzelwa edolobheni leLuton eNgilandi. Isikhulumi esiqathekile esimenyiweyo ngumnumzana Mzila Ndlovu owake waba ngumsekeli kaMphandidamboza ngaphandle kwelizwe ngesikhathi sohulumende womanyano, njalo ngomunye wayengabalweli belizwe ngaphansi kwebandla lezaphu kukanti lokhu ekhona kwezombusazwe. uMzila Ndlovu ukhokhela ibandla lithiwa Alliance for National Salvation kumbe ANSA uyatshiseka ngendaba yombhuqazwe. Unobhala jikelele obona ngokwethulwa kwembiko enhlanganisweni yeMthwakazi 1893 umnumzana Thembani Dube uchasisa ngalomhlangano
ngokukhanda amasu ukuthi kwenziweni ngale genocide ehlela abantu bakithi, izigigaba zonke lezi ezehlela abantu bakithi. Okunye futhi ukuthi abantu babe lethuba lokukhuluma ukuthi kwenzakalani kibo nini ngasikhathi sini kuziphi izigaba. So sikhangelele ukuthi abantu bake bahlanganisa amakhanda bakhanda amacebo lamasu ukuthi udaba lolu singalubamba njani njengesizwe sakoMthwakazi.
uDube uyagcizelela ngokunxuswa kwesikhulumi sabo esiqhakathekileyo.
uMzila simkhethe njengomunye wabakhokheli bakaMthwakazi abalofutho olukhulu ngodaba lwegenocide emathebeleleni. Njalo uMzila ungamnanzelela kajikajiki ngodaba lweGukurahunde genocide. Ume eqinisweni, ume endaweni abona ukuthi abantu bakiyo bame kuyo. Njalo kahlehli emuva ekutheni kuyini okumele kwenzakale ngalolu daba.
Iningi labantu lithi sokesikhathi sokuthi uhulumende kaMnangagwa ukhulunywe laye ngalolu daba. Kodwa uDube uthi cha,
i-1893 Mthwakazi Human Rights Restoration Movement kayiboni indingakalo okwamanje ukuthi ikhulume lohulumene weZimbabwe. Indingakalo ekhona yikubutha abantu ibahlanganisa ngoba abantu bachithwa yiGukurahunde genocide. So yiso isikhathi sokubutha abantu, sokubutha isizwe, sikhangele lolu dubo, silukhangele ukuthi udubo lolu oluphambi kwethu singalulungisa kanjani, macebo bani esingawakha ukuthi udubo lolu lulungiswe. Yikho lapho esigcwele khona.
Umhlangano lo uvulelwe abantu bonke ungakhathalekile ukuthi ngubani kumbe usekela liphi ibandla. uDube lenhlanganiso yakhe baqoqa uZulu ukuthi abuye ngobuningi bakhe.
I-1893 Mthwakazi Human Rights Restoration Movement iyalimema mahlabezulu ukuthi lize sizophatheka, sizoxoxa ngalolu daba, sikhande amasu, sibone ukuthi udaba lolu lungaphathwa njani ukuze luye phambili.
We tend to regret. Please, can we turn this around to say your painful experiences, painful as they were, may become so useful in helping you to grow, to understand and to come to terms with that spiritually, morally, even physically. You begin to understand. Because it is only when you understand this that you can begin to look for answers. And my challenge to Babu Chuma is, what is it that we can do, Chuma, within the media fraternity? Particularly as a highly educated person, and I'm humbled to learn that the little stupid hailing that I like doing in the streets would have propelled you to be where you are. I thought I was just abusing a friend, but little did I know that I'm actually catapulting this young person to greater heights in life. And I'm actually, touched to have to share this platform with you when you have excelled so much academically in the area that evokes those memories that you are saying in your on-the-job training. That's what it says to me. You were on-the-job training as a media practitioner, and you realized, you discovered it. I'm an educationist, by the way. That's the other, and I have so many students here. Scar.
Yes.
That one there, that X03, that one, that one, there are so many. But you see, your problem is that you're selective. You decided to come alone. You should have brought in people who don't know what it is that you're doing. So I'm saying the challenge to you is that as we rub shoulders together here, whether you are there or you are this side, the question that should be uppermost in our minds, how do we move on from here to make this case bigger and greater, not to be ignored? So that in future, whether it's here you gather, how frequently you do it, but the question that we need to speak to is the question of how are we going to take this case to greater heights, so that ultimately we begin to drift towards the resolution of the Gukurahunde genocide. Because we don't want to live perpetually a complaining life. We want to resolve these things so that our lives can continue, normally like anyone else. As it is, we are traumatized psychologically. We have no answers to the reason why Robert Mugabe and his cohorts, and I hope you record that, and they must hear this. I don't care what they do to me, to you, and what have you. What should happen is that let's use the strongest possible terms to describe the situation that we are in. We are in pain. We are grieving. And it is unfair to have a population that is a nation grieving for so long because we are on our own. Sizintandane. But please, let's disabuse ourselves of the notion that somebody will come from somewhere to resolve these things for us. It is important that we regard this step as one of the first major steps to empower ourselves in the direction of mobilization. We mobilize ourselves, convince our fellow Matabeleland people that it is possible to achieve justice. Let's be passionate about it. Let's spread the message. And say, so that we breathe. Sorry, Doris, I shall not translate that. One of the things that you empower yourselves with is to free yourself, to free your use of language. Grow in terms of language. When you say we don't wait for people to fart so that we breathe. So we don't care even if they don't fart, we continue to breathe, we've got a life to live. And this should be the mentality of the oppressed. If you are oppressed, look for ways of freeing yourself. Anyway, that's such a prelude. I was introducing this so that I connect with what Ubabuchumo was saying. And connect with the subject matter under discussion. The Gukurahunde genocide. Now, who am I in this whole configuration of voices and demands for justice? I'm just an ordinary person from Tewane, neighbor with Gwambe, our villages, where Ubaba Uhavan comes from. It saddens me to see such young people whose lives have been wrecked by Robert Mugabe, an elderly, scrawny, skinny, concocted person, because he is not a real person, he is concocted, to be so vile and be so cruel as to crush the lives of his forefathers, his fathers, and himself, and his children. Because this is what Gukurahunde is all about. It is not individualized. It is transgenerational. So the challenge before us is, how do you then make sure that the pain of the Gukurahunde ends with us here? It's not translated to the young baby that I saw. Look at this baby. And we ask ourselves, what is it that we should do to ensure that lives a much freer life than a year to that is traumatized? So these are the challenges that we have. So the size of this project, and these words I directed them to the organizers, the 1893. And let me say this before I go far, that the challenge is not so much about how you mobilize and grow 1980s. The challenge is, how do you recognize those other people who are doing other things elsewhere in line with what we are doing? So that we become more inclusive than exclusionist. Where you are saying it's about me, my group. It is not about you and your group. It is about us. Tina bantu bemathebelele. Ngoba that's why the major division is. Imabo, Mandere, Isusu, Mashon, who is not the ones who coined this. Monkabe, who coined this when they broke away from Zimbabwe. They coined it, a tribal division, as an inheritance from Ian Douglas Smith. Divide the black and white people and rule them. Mugabe inherited it in 1980 and divided Amashon and Amandebe. And in any case, ever since 1963, that's what they're working towards, dividing Abantu as if they knew which they will eventually rule. So it will be easier to rule a divided people. The tragedy is that Abantu Amashon don't want to concede. The fact that Gukurahunde was a tribally motivated thing. Forget about destroying Zapu. I'm sorry, the Nabawa Zapu. Forget about that. I can argue until cows come home that this issue was not just about destroying Zapu. If it was about destroying Zimbabwe, why are the miseries of the Gukurahunde still with us today? Why did it not end in 1987? In any case, the Gukurahunde operatives said it to us, said it to him, Amabekona. Silibudalela ukuthi latsho ntshinkomo zababa bamkhulu bethu. Ungabuza ukuthi lo nguplensi ngubani, they could not answer. Latsho nje lokuze laba okhona bathatha logogo bethu ababebahle babe izibomvana. Obathi ukuthi umfazi ngaba isibomva namuntu kwedla abanye ngubani. Ungabuza ukuthi ngubani wathi ngumabani owathathwa ngukhokho wami. Ngokuthi wona wabuye vele mina nwanzake ngiye eGoli mina ngivele emapungubhe lapha ngikhala ngale lokuze le mapungubhe i-civilized empire ema-1000. That's my background. So how do I then inherit this? It is not true. But this is a created ideological slant that is meant to empower them and disempower you to accuse you. And at this point, we need to explain what the word dissident was coined because for our friends' sake. The word dissident, you've been hearing it coming out from the various presenters. Including MDC. It is the word that was used in 1983 to describe those that were anti-ZANU or un-ZANU. And the word eventually, though in civilized societies, dissent is not a hateable thing. Dissent is an acceptable thing. But in our context, dissent meant that you were anti-society, you were anti-ZANU PF, you were anti-Zimbabwe. So, it was not confined to the few who were hounded out of the united three armies, the Zipra, Zanla, and the Rhodesian army. The word dissent or dissident was then used to, in fact, refer to every person from Matebelele. Whether you were old, you were young, you were a baby, you were a dissident.
Or unborn.
Or unborn, you were a dissident. Or still in the planning process, you were a dissident. So a dissident will bear other dissidents. And that is why the killing rate was so high. The idea was that make sure that they don't produce much of other dissidents. If this investigation were to be done, and we come out with the true figure of the people of Matabeleland who were slaughtered by Robert Mugabe, do you know that the population of Matabeleland now could be 10 times, 15 times, 20 times what it is now?
Yes.
And those who do mathematics, they can tell us about progression to say, if you start with a figure, by the time you give a lifespan, a time span, the figure will treble, quadruple, and so forth and so forth. As long as there's a regenerational element in that figure. Now, we've been robbed of our human resources. And we are saying, while we cannot compensate those figures, we are saying the dead people, the wounded people, emotionally, physically, the living and the dead, deserve justice. This is my starting point. So, allow me to go back now so that at least I don't take too much time. I become so passionate about the Gukurahunde. I don't think it's a subject that we can deal with in a hurried manner. I think it is important that we do share this, and it must sink in our heads, in our minds, and our souls. Although the magnitude of this case, in fact, is bigger than what you know elsewhere. And when I ask a question about the headroom, what is it that is actually preventing us from achieving our goal? I keep saying it is us. That introspection, when you begin to ask yourself, what is it that I should be doing, will help us to begin to stand up heads above others' shoulders, and be counted in our demand for this. Because I believe we are full human beings with full faculties, with sort of strength as Omakwala. We are sons and daughters of heroes. And this is what exactly they want to erode, to take away from you the heritage of heroism. Number one, for resisting colonialism. We are one of the peoples who resisted British colonization, that the British can't forget. From the Battle of Isandwana to the battles of Gadate, Shangan, and what have you, they can't forget that. When, I want to class in Amapechu and Amambatate and the Auschwitz feather went as far as butchering a British general. That in itself petrifies people. So you must know that your background, in fact, instills terror in the minds of people to say, what kind of a people will stand up to a Maxim gun, automatic? Generally, and behind the echelons of information. So your sins may be original to you in terms of your language, but part of your sins are in your history. When it is an original sin, you can't wash it away with innocent Kalawati. I would wash it off. This is a prominent betrayer who was a Matebele who decided to cross over to ZANU-PF and work to destroy his own people. Now, I think finally I come back to myself, and I'm going to be quick this time, because information, okay, the information, if you want it on my Facebook wall, there is everything about me, Moses Mzila Ndlovu. Please, it says it space age. I need to. So let's not waste time. Hey, this is what I'm on. Please go and read about me. But that which I choose to say is that I'm an ex-Zebra combatant. I should not have. But I did. Because I was loyal to the leadership of ZAPU, which when I passed out a Gugu parade, I said I swear to honor the party ZAPU and its leadership. So when they said, we are Chinese and not Chinese, one of them was the heat-seeking missile. SAM-7, Strela. Those who were in Zebra, I'm sure you know about the heat-seeking missile. That's the weapon that brought about the conquest of the aerial space in the Rhodesian operational areas by Zebra. Part of it is in history, in heroic deeds of Zebra is what some people is very uncomfortable now. That is why in our school they will not teach that history. And that takes away your pride. They will not teach it. I'm a teacher, I taught students, but the content of the liberation struggle by Zap was deliberately omitted. And you get told lies. Now, Banta was so primitive. They are so primitive. When somebody believes that oil can come from a mountain, it's primitive. But somebody, 15 years later, he's still as primitive as he was then. Primitive steals from the state. So that I want to be. They divide, they kill people. They loot. They are primitive. They don't understand that what they are destroying now is what you need tomorrow. So if you understand that ZANU and its leadership are a primitive group of people, and nothing can be done to rescue them from that primitivity. They are simply primitive by nature. They will remain so until they watch. over the Gukurahunde. This is what will end the primitiveness. When they get arrested. Now, you are saying the lineup, Yabantu Zanu, responsible for the crimes in Matebeleland. Starting with uMgabe. So don't worry about the way they've been changing power. That's the culture of ZANU-PF. About how power is transferred from one hand to another. What we should worry about is that the same people who are responsible for Gukurahunde are actually handing over power from Mgabe to Mnangagwa to parents. It's clear to Chiwenga and what have you. So what are the prospects of you ever witnessing a resolution of this case? They are clear about what they are doing. So, as it telling in Japan, any one of them, let's not be misled. Let's not allow one to begin university corner. I know muchalo utena into a Gukurahunde is water under the bridge. Limchalo ganina. You slaughter people who turn around and say water under the bridge. Water under the bridge. Nothing bamba. Yagibo. Noise. It was a moment of murder. And then we, our people, the victims, turn around and say, "Aye, so what? We live at Kolene, continue. But if it needs be with about things, you're actually stopping with ZANU to deal with them. We must deal with them. That's the second head. After says is solid, after we've been introspected, says any head, I want to underscore that word treacherous. But we know the quarter, they were treacherous right from Morgan up to the lowest in rank. If they were not treacherous, they would make sure at every turn when they have a chance to speak about, they would talk about these horrendous tales of Gukurahunde. But Omoke will choose to talk about Gukurahunde Ngabengapokachama. And they've incepted a culture of saying the young Ashona people now should never accept being ruled by a developed person. So it says Izani Njiana can never be led by a developed person. EMTC in Jiana can never be led by a developed person. That helped me understand the intentions of Abantu. In tribal division, they really want to create a Shona state that excludes everyone else except if you are assimilated. So we must choose. Do we want to be assimilated? See, accept the to the point they have said this so repeatedly. So I want to buy guitar. Raise these issues. I want to get what comes up with and see Luton. Ungababuza ukuthi how kathi makhela ngabe abantu laba ngo15 ezala njengekundwa leminanza umntana nami uyi1 ngoba vele inkelo zami kazisebenzi. So kumele abantu abafuna amakhela bazela emzini wabadle emzini wabo. This is what is happening. Enguzwisayo ngekukhulawunda ukuthi when we then demanded, I remember we were in Cape Town, in some lodge far outside of Cape Town, that there should be an organ that deals with peace creation and pacifying the restive population. Abanye abantu abathembele ngamagqwetha bayaphuma lebizo yokuthi ayisiza ukuthi organ for national healing, reconciliation here wawa. How yebo. Okay, sizabona what should we do? Mandate in terms of reference for this organ, local is about the peace local. To go and ask them exactly what it is that they think should be done to heal them. So say our constitution. Unfortunately, that the MDC seconded to the organ, Gibson's father, then died, our vice president. That's what then had me going there to replace him. And that's when grace, all hell broke loose. John Como, my late leader, the campaign Madame what are uMzila? uMzila drive or because I'm not even let the look drive or looks at. I said, Jella was about cutting to come on the drive. What the eyes of us. We know now that you are a driver and nothing more. But a driver is going to go. But why I'm telling you this one is that when I then got to the organ and there was this official introduction by Johnny Cole, the man makes a 180-degree turnaround. And he says to the staff, the majority of whom are all CIO operatives. Now, I could smell this man comes into politics through the front door. He is not coming to politics through the back door. Because if it was not for him, I would have died in Lusaka at a place called Works. And that was true. If it was not for me, he could have died. And I remember the aeroplanes that were cleaning out of the air, some of them came from here. All the things that were making noise in the air, we cleaned them out. I see me here. You need to hear. I'm saying this over. Abanganibami don't have the opportunity to say those things and say, "Oh, I can't use one body." As in twinning, you humble yourself. As in twinning, you humble yourself. We don't blow our own trumpets. But for the first time, Zanu admitting the truth that this person did A, B, C, D. That's why I'm alive. But that was not enough to stop them from persecuting me after I attended that Silwane commemoration. Hardly had I settled home in Silwane, cabinet minister, I get a phone call. Hi Baba, Mzila, move. Infonanse Silwane. Hey, lapha mdala sokurongo la. Abamsesigcwele again. Kwenze njani move? Kube amapolisa abavelela upani lapha sebehlasela abantu bonke sesibuthwa sonke abantu kade behambele elokuzeni ku commemoration. What do I do? Pick up the order thing will come back to you. Kemo mohati how? Not. Kati ngihambe nga ba lilunga kulokuzeni kati abantu sebehlushwa uyakwazi. What he said to me was so educative. What he lawa nqole cala kwaza kubamba. So, I had another invitation at Victoria Falls by an organization called Chisi Uluntu, Abavele Kuforos Abamawe by as organization to come and be part of the discussion. And I then left Bulawa early in the morning. When I got to the site where there's Lupane State University now, I see Irot Block. Afana belongs in our Machama. License. We are 30 license. You have to do 30 license. I can't get it. A pen. How you know Ndlovu. Yeah, Ndlovu. I was saying, but I just company of uMzila. Okay. Still good to have politely arrest. Different from the way I've been arrested in 2001. Polite arrest. What could be happening? Should we put a police detail to accompany him? He may run away. So they don't eventually put someone. And I'm debating as I approach 10 of Mount at the filling station in corner or not. My sixth sense says no, do this and deal with it. Best in corner say come. Man say figure. It didn't take 5 minutes before he said saying Lama Lake Isles Lama helicopters. Now in cover Muntu, what I'm searching to look and ladies and just shona. What wrong fire office in Aki? What it Garapas? Masinya. Nase kunyuli panty, la mawachi la young king, saying crazy looks and pants a corner in a matter like switch leo. Yeah, you are dividing people, the accusation. You are dividing people. You are making people hate the president. You are undermining the authority of the president. Why are you doing this? Sometimes the arrogance pays. I'm asking this person in my mobile, if you want, it's called the territorial advantage. All man does was I used to teach them about this. When you are a teacher, you have territorial advantage by sitting in front with a territorial advantage. So, we are Muslims too. He's saying, why are you dividing people? I'm saying, who actually in the first place united about now? The man is shocked saying, Narrow. Hardly when he says that 4 more policemen come in. Bapeta malogs are matrix lab. I bet no. And you say mean. You say don't. It does the interrogation team. They interrogated me for 6 hours non-stop. Sitshela ukuthi umubani wasempini othengisa oveluthinywa ngamakhiwa ukuya empini ulamanga bonke abantu abasempini they are in ZANU. And you can imagine how I feel about knowing my heroic deeds and what insult that I'm having to endure. But I was there for 3 days, no food. Kwakula umuntu weMDC othiwa elupane ngawo susiya emasinyane ungakhe waba umkhansela those kukhuluma amabizo so that we can identify abantu umkaphili would bring sebezulu ukuthi uMzila ubotshiwe they will bring food to the gate amapholisa bathatha bafika bachithe ngale babe bamnika umgani bathi udlile. I hear these things after the case. How can you say Honourable we're bringing food every day? Meet the way, but no, we're bringing food and the police will take it. But it's stupid one. But I say nigga, but figure right here. No water, 3-4 days, no water, no food. These are some of the things that should strengthen you, not to weaken you. When your enemy treats you like that, it tells you what he is paid by the stance you have taken. I went through the courts. As you were saying, he was detained in Luton, not as the News Day reported it. Father Malcolm Kanda was detained in Luton, in Cholosho. So Saneta Ndaoni in order to go to Wage Magistrate Court. And it was at this Magistrate Court when we were forced to go through from the backyard, back side of the court. There's a steep staircase where I was hitting a bat Yom Popo to say Famba, Manya. See, Manya, we were leg armed together and handcuffed together. I've been tortured and put me a Queen's Park police camp where I was asked why when in 1987. And when I then said, my understanding is that ZANU is a Shona part. I can hardly sit for 2-3 hours in a zone. But that is not an issue. Very let's forget about Gukurahunde. I'm simply saying the enemy is prepared to inflict the worst pains on you because you're standing for the truth. Let's not fear. Even if they were to kill you, they will not stop the demand for justice. So I'm then saying, looking at this, the bit of testimonies that were given here and what I've also added, to say that, do you think ZANU-PF created the MHRRM in order to achieve justice? My answer is no. It's a fluke. It's in order to distract abantu from demanding justice. Forget about the MHRRM achieving it. If anything, MHRRM died in Rainbow. That was the end of MHRRM. And I hope Lanama resolutions anywhere they'll take into account the fate of the MHRRM. There's nothing genuine in Konapana, particularly when you look at the commissioners. Commissioners working on Mashon. So what does it say? When you say the group that became beneficiaries of this operation, they must preside over the investigation. No, we are not mad. We simply are not mad. So I'm saying the MHRRM, there's no hope. Mina, I'm one of the people but I lived through the nightmare of seeing the fail. And I can't be an idiot to believe that one day this MHRRM will deliver. It will not. It simply is a time-buying mechanism by ZANU-PF. So it says, without the MHRRM, what do we do? Were we justified to pin hope on the MHRRM? I think we were kind of mad and idiotic to some extent, particularly those in politics. But I then learned with my colleagues, in fact, I understood what in fluke when I was the idiot who was expecting a better outcome out of it. Even those from material our material benefits were more beneficial to them than anything, even about MDC. Now, why I'm saying this is that my conviction is that we are on our own. Because we are on our own, let us not be distracted by what ZANU-PF creates in pretense of resolving in the Gukurahunde. They will not. So we need to sober up and be realistic and face the reality. Disabuse ourselves of the notion that ZANU can ever investigate itself and come up with a solution in Gukurahunde. So what it says to you, Lina, any resident outside the country, have even a bigger responsibility of saying, how can we first of all be united to unite abantu bakithi? Let us not, drive further my pegs of individualism. Sifunda ukuba more welcoming and inclusive. Build a bigger platform, a bigger voice for the people of Matebelele, so that we may achieve justice. So I'm saying my experiences, Baba, Dube, particularly with, I've answered in the Umotlante. Umotlante is simply there to cleanse ZANU-PF. And I think the more some of you Ababas who can try to go to Umotlante, you are there as a tissue as ZANU-PF. You will clean up where the sun never shines. When you be talking about this, and I wish you good luck with the organizing to the same on their doorsteps. Yes. South Africans, you are disgusting. It's a huge case. I want to oppose. It became a court issue. Masinya. I want to like is cool. What we are saying, I think the sooner a message comes out, my expectation is part of the way forward suggestion. Let us dethrone abantu abazibeka laphana ezitulweni zobukhosi besithi bona abazelungisa indaba elokuzene Gukurahunde. Or insulting us ukuthi sifuna ukuzwisisa ukuthi lokuzene abantu abangu6 bafa njani. When people then say liyahlanya kule case enje bavala imlomo baziphi, because they've been told ukuthi vele don't you ever open your ears abantwana abazabe demand ukwazi Gukurahunde. So that's your responsibility. I'm not saying that, but the field is there, battlefield. It's up to you to, in fact, pick up your arms and fight. I need you physically, but I'm saying the name is to show that you are fighting. Konala, Embassy South Africa, you must go there and protest and say, we want more countries to stop abusing our they can They should not sit on their laurels in UK. Join activity South African embassy to protest to recall that man. Kapume. Aslan dabalo anya uko. Amfuna ukumthethisa. Aslan dabala. Sile dabala lo wakithi ngoba sikhona apha singamaJawunda abanye khona la. La ngumJawunda. Kapume kahamba ehlala phansi. Ngala nto yokwenza atshone senzile ukuze ngizakhuluma kusasa. You are being polite, thank you. So we are saying, as part of the work, we need to be aggressive. And the aggressive, I need your violence. I'm simply saying we need to be aggressive in terms of implementing that which you agree upon. If you create fresh automatic resolutions, make sure you give yourself a time frame. By this time, we must have done ABCD. Simple, identifiable series of activities that are interconnected and meant to drive a message across. In a non-apologetic manner, you have to be revolutionaries and demand revolution around the thinking around material, because we are regarded as debased individuals who are spineless and yet we are not your sons of people. So the top and begin to say, to claim what is ours. And without discriminating anyone who belong. And if you test the case of South Africa, I'm looking forward to that one. When I want to go to Gukurahunde imbi ekhona lapha. Umsebenzi wethu. And that's exactly what I'm going to say to them. Now I'm very clear. Ukuthi madoda dandala bata moto. Tumba mai. Now masisikhala ukuthi dandala bata moto manje awuchazela nje. Uthi sikhozo kala kasomthulisa sibambule siza paper, it doesn't go off. Yeah. You must get to a point where you are saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. We must make our resolutions. We cannot gather here for the sake of it. We must gather here in order to plan the way forward, map a way forward. And say, we are going to implement it. If we can unify ourselves in this regard, the voice will be greater. Our impact will be greater. And the fall will be bigger. That's not our issue. Perpetrators must be arrested. All of them without an exception. And I said to umuntu interview zakwazi ukuthi uMatutu angikwazi ukuthi ungadela uMatutu yebo umtshela ukuthi ngimdingi ngoba wangi-interview lo Dr. Moyo ukhanyisela use-Ireland wathi Mzila lesekhaya sitshela ukuthi ufuna ukuthi wenze wena ngathi ngifuna ukuthi abantu laba babotshwe uMgabe nomnanga kwalosekela maye lo-parents shield the first candidates to be arrested so that umuntu service maye botshwa abakithi babotshwe ma ubopha uCharles Taylor abakithi kababotshwe. And all these criminals responsible for genocide elsewhere. At that time, they were actually serving British laws and interests. It looks like they looked the other way. Because of 800 million investment in Rhodesia. So if those want to get you were worth less than 800 million. The truth must be told. But again, choose your enemies well. Even those that you are saying they looked aside, knock on their doors and say, this is what you are demanding. Please come out in the open and say you condemn Gukurahunde. As the first step. Second step, I condemn what you do. Open the door for us here in United Nations. Go by a special commission of inquiry investigation. As a we career investigator, even if I'm not going to United Nations deploy blue berets in Matabele. Abantu bakhululeke. Bakhulume bekhulekile ukuthi mina ngenza lokho. Ayabona kathesi ukuthi umuntu uzakhuluma. Athi akhuluma lo Mzila alasebotshwa. Mzila khona kalamandla, yes, no power. Alasebotshwa. So abantu are forced to in fact recoil and say lokhu ngizakufa lapha. Ngoba ngazama ukukhuluma kuba worse. So I'm saying the legal route has been explained by Ubabuchuma, and I think that's the way to go. But you need to build a case. We need to build the case. Listen to say when you want to gather evidence. I have pictures as the coordinates of the bombing of the massacres in Palab. So they want to destroy evidence. But is a to destroy into of course, we have respectable people here. I have a media. Or Donald Telford, who was working for the Guardian Observer newspaper, working for Tiny Roland, who owned almost 90% of Rhodesia. Who Tiny Roland? He's late now. But don't go never. Lord Carrington, Lord Prince Charles. When you go to Donald Telford, as a chief, the first article ever exposed Gukurahunde to the British people. And you need to build them relationships as part of the way forward. Identify them. I'm a correspondent at the British Broadcasting Corporation, who in fact investigated these things and recorded them. Knock on their doors, bring them over. I'm academics who keep coming home to investigate, to make research in Gukurahunde. They are here. Knock on their doors. Make them, get them onto your side. What information about will be useful at some point, but it will help you with St. Andrews. Margaret Ishana can be raised. We Edinburgh and confront the academics of Chancellor of Edinburgh University and say, see, put a degree, Eli Nigum Kabe, he keep it, he call it back. You know, these what may appear small, but they are very powerful developments. So, without being confrontational, but being, positive in what you are doing, that you are confident that this will contribute towards the resolution of the case. Inkhulumela kini tinekaya hayi singodivula uyakufika nje wathatha uyimbadala okuceka kangaka wakuchaya baqamule akula ndawo. Ngizamile omunye athi iscience kathesi lamalungu ama stem cells amhluphi. Ngizamile okuyi. So but I'm saying if you can be reasonable, see encourage abantu ekhaya, talk to people, engage them whether they are professionals, talk to them ukuthi we have this conference, we resolved this. Please talk to the other people. These are the resolutions. Abantu bakithi kube the networks between political parties, between civic organizations, between church organizations, between youth organizations, women's organizations. Let's make it a huge, a battlefront. And that way, I think we'll be able to get where we want. I'm sorry to have taken so much of your time, but somebody said the African tour, the sun shines for 12 hours, so it's before 12 hours.
Well, we don't know what to say, but what a very authentic presentation in terms of experience, intertwined with individual experiences, intertwined with the
Magazi, Matebeleland, you can change so many names. It was Zapu, it was something else. Until that land is free, we will never get tired. Since 1893 up to today. When you talk of 1980, yes, it was really bitter. But think of also 1893. Think of, 1987, what was happening. I was there in Harare as a technician in 1982, the only first Ndebele in that university. And they did not want any Ndebeles to come. They thought I was Shona because my surname was Bun. Until the registrar for sciences came to me and said, "You don't come from Mashonaland." I said, "Why?" He said, "It's because of your accent." I was in trouble for that. I almost lost my job because I was from Matebeleland. There were a lot of people from Matebeleland who were in trouble, including Dr. Ndlovu. I think that must have been 85 in the senior common room. They attacked him until he left. He went to teach in Northly. That was sad. Yeah.
You said what with you?
Yeah. It was after that incident.
I didn't know that
It was sad because somebody of that credibility, intelligent physics lecturer, had to leave the university. I was there as a member of the senior common room. The violence was so much against people of Matebeleland. They didn't want to employ people from Matebeleland. Being the only also Ndebele at the Polytech to be trained as a technician, scientific technician, because they created this program so that they can start industries. That was the only Ndebele. They did not want to admit any Ndebeles whatsoever. Those who completed that training opened companies. But because I was from Matebeleland, there were no resources or ways for me to do that. Until 1990, I had to leave the country. It was sad. Despite all the effort to train, and they were paying the money anyway. But after 5 years, I went back again to Zimbabwe, equipped with all the knowledge, technologies, and stuff like that. I only found myself teaching at Milton High School because they could not open doors for a Ndebele person. Never. I know those people. Unless you are a Shona. That is the score. Whether you like it or you do not, When the MDC was formed, I was back home then. I remember traveling from Harare to Bulawayo. Then there was a Shona guy at the back. And he said, you know what? This thing called MDC has been hijacked by the Ndebele. Look at the hierarchy. It's Ndebele. There's one Shona at the top, Tsvangirai, and all the way down, it's Ndebele. That thing is not going to last, and it did not last. I'm sorry, Mzila. That is what they were thinking. Anyway, I know it's been a long day. I would like to thank everybody who came to this conference. It's been a privilege to meet quite a number of people. And let's not make it a gathering because uMzila came here. It should be there all the time. We meet at the embassy to demonstrate, and there's been a suggestion to meet also at the South African embassy because of this Monklane Commission. And I'm sure as soon as we can, so that we really are seen to be serious. So thank you very much, everyone, for that. I also would like to thank the committee for the 1893 Thokazi restoration. And also I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the people at the top table. It's quite top. Our guest of honor, uMzila from home. All your work from Zambia is recognized by those who have got eyes, but the blind don't see. They can only hear, but they cannot tell whether it is your voice, but the truth will come out. Whatever happened throughout all those years, I still remember Bantwana Beponjwa, JZ1. The bombs are still there, they are still there. The family are. They are active, maybe. And also, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Shima for coming. I'm sure you are not going to be, it's not going to be the last meeting, but your presence and coming here all the time will encourage others as well to continue this commitment. The truth about Imatebeleland is all because we all work together towards it. Otherwise, we will be just people who will never be recognized because we are not really serious. If we are serious, let's do it. Abantu besishoneni khathesi alwana yiwo abana abagcwele kuyahlatshelwa kuyathiwa everything is there. Let's not be the people who are, emuva. The Shonas will be bringing their drums here and singing and dancing. Amandebele. Vele ulani lizayenzana. Let's not think it that way. Kudala aluva sahamba saba abdata ezikolo ukuyempini to force them to do something. But I know and I believe when a Ndebele person has been given the task, they will execute it to the end. Absolutely. That is the truth. Thank you very much.
Siyabonga baba Puno. Ngicela ke sisukumeni bijana sizelule ngani ngoba asiwo mkhuba wethu lo. Kumele ke sivale ngengoma. Usi-challenge ubaba usi-challenge ubaba Puno. Ngona ke sithabe. Siyalishiya bazale khaya. Zima kulule, wa commando, nanka babantu, basama zweli, nampa abantu, zima kulule, zimuza kumbo, miniza kumbo, zima kulule, zima kulule, zima kulule, zima kulule. Yeah.
Hayi siyabonga. Ngicela ukuthi this becomes a national anthem. Ngoba likhathala abantu bekhaya, they don't know where you are. It is important for you to condense this and solidify it into an emotional, soul-rousing, message that says we are here not because of our free will, we have a home. And we know we have people there back home. Music in our African sense, expresses the soul. So, ngicela ukuthi siyibambe moya kakhulu.
Balagwe, my son, but Gukurahunde is a sensitive issue. We must not talk about it or raise it in public. I am sorry to those who have made open Gukurahunde dialogue their license to kill. We can't stop raising it until they put it to rest. In Matebeleland and Midlands, we have no identities, no IDs, no ego, and no drives to belong to this national agenda. Our homesteads were burnt down. Our parents, families, and friends were buried like a pile of leaves on a madman's compost heap. Our kukuliko chickens were chopped and chowed. Our cattle roasted, and baskarapelo pase. Our dogs were donated to the ozone stink. Ngisho lempukane zakithi zaphela tu ngombhukazwe balagwe liqiniso hanjula wafela lona. My son, let me address this issue. DAED and the Muklante Commission. Was this ingxaki isidwekla? This is stinking harassment of wisdom Mkwananzi after his innocent testimony. What is it all about? Dear ex-President Muklante.